Hi, and welcome to Inside Seychelles. Now, freediving is become a very popular sport, especially here in Seychelles. And today we have Sophie from Freediving Seychelles with us. Not only is Sophie Seychelles' #1 freediving instructor, but she's also about to become a record breaker. This week we've been asking you questions, asking you to send us your questions on social media for Sophie. We got a lot of them from all around the world. So let's get into it. Sophie, how are you?
Hey Fiona, thanks so much for having me on your platform. I'm doing really well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. So tell us, where are you and what you're doing?
So at the moment I'm in Sharm El Sheikh. Today is a rest day and I'm training to get a national record for Seychelles. I have 2 more training days, tomorrow and Friday, then 2 rest days, and then the competition begins next week.
Amazing. Now we're going to get into the competition. I have a lot of questions. So, we got questions from everyone all around the world, all questions on freediving and about you and what you're doing. So, shall we dive in? See what I did there? Oh, yeah. So let's find out and let's get started, shall we? So, Move with Lucy in Seychelles says, you've got this. I'd love to know your why. So, we all want to know your why. So let's get into some questions. Raisa in Seychelles, she said, what sparked your interest in freediving and at what age did you start your freediving journey?
So my why? Well, freediving for me is just such an amazing feeling. The feeling of feeling freedom, really feeling present. So that's really why it's my why. I love teaching it as well. What was that question that Raisa said again? Sorry.
It was what sparked your interest in freediving and at what age did you start?
So I started professionally. I became an instructor at the age of 20. And what sparked my interest, well, first of all, it just looked really, really cool. And then once I tried it out, it felt incredible. It felt just really, really lovely. And I felt at peace with myself.
So that kind of falls into Vicky asked the question, she said, what made you fall in love with it and what convinced you to make it your profession?
So I fell in love with the feeling, really. I sort of started getting obsessed with going deeper and holding my breath longer. I felt like there weren't really any limitations. I really enjoyed the mental practice of it as well. And what I love as well is teaching. I feel like I'm a good teacher. I enjoy showing people that they're capable of doing something that they feel like they weren't capable of doing. And the fact that it wasn't something that was happening in Seychelles at the time, we became the first freediving center. So I thought that could also be a cool business opportunity to do.
Nice. So that kind of answers Annie's question because she was like, what inspired you to start your own freediving business?
Yeah, that's it. Well, yeah, didn't have much work going on at the time because it was COVID, and I thought, okay, I need to try to find something to do now and to be serious about work. So that's what I did.
Cool. Now there's one here. I don't know if Veronica in Germany says, how do you
Veronica,
go
yeah.
from being top of your class to ditching uni for extreme sports? Now this obviously is someone who knows your background. Did you drop out of uni?
So half of that question is true. So I was top of my class for art and psychology, not everything. I didn't necessarily ditch uni. I did a 6-month film course in the UK when I finished school. My parents did want me to go to university. However, I didn't think that was the right path for me. So I finished my course and decided that I want to work straight away. And that was first doing film. That's what I studied. And then COVID happened and I found myself freediving. So
Yeah, okay.
that's
So
where we're
you
at
weren't a
today.
dropout then. So that's good.
No,
Stay at school again. Very important. Yeah.
exactly.
Benjamin Can 505, obviously these are Instagram handles, said, do you have any experience in competitions?
So as a kid, I used to compete a little bit in swimming and tennis. And those were sort of sports that we sort of were forced to do as kids growing up being in school. However, when I was 14, I got into karate, and I became quite good at that, especially at the age of 17 and 18, where I went to the European Championships in the Netherlands and won a silver medal. And then I went to North Carolina in the US for the World Championships and won 3 gold medals. So those are the competitions I've done. And then we held a friendly freediving competition in Seychelles, the pool competition, which you guys came to. And so those are that's what I've done. But I've never done an official freediving competition before.
Okay. And we got another question here which says, what's your motivation for taking freediving seriously and for entering competitions?
Well, it's been 5 years that I've been doing this sport, and I just felt like I needed. Competitions seem interesting. I feel like I needed to get motivated somehow. Being in the Seychelles, the community isn't huge, and I felt like just teaching courses and courses over and over again, I felt like I was losing my passion a little bit in freediving. So I thought I need some time out to focus on diving for myself, and the perfect thing to do for that was to enter a competition. So that's what I've done.
Cool. Ashley D. Gale in the UK says freediving as a sport has become more and more popular on the global stage, especially after the Netflix documentary The Deepest Breath. As someone at the forefront of the sport has achieved so much already, what would be your words of encouragement to other young boys and girls who are thinking about taking up freediving for the first time, and what kind of path would you encourage them to go down to learn properly at the beginning of their journey?
So the first thing I would say is definitely take a course. What a lot of people do is they end up just doing some research, or like getting a friend to teach them a few things, like going down to 5-10 meters, or they go on YouTube. I don't think that's the right way. I think find a good instructor who you connect with and do a course. And just remember that freediving is a sport whereby it teaches you a lot of patience and discipline. So just be kind with yourself and be patient.
Good. And that leads nicely into kind of like our next set of questions, because as I say, freediving is not just a case of jumping in the water, holding your breath and seeing how deep you can go. There's a lot, as you said, it's about mindset, it's about calmness, it's about your mental preparation. And there's been a lot of questions. We've got Amy Jess Norton in the UK says, is there something in particular that you think can help calm your mind and prepare you for dives?
So there's lots of different techniques out there. One thing that I personally do, depending on the day, because I'm feeling different every day. Let's say if I'm feeling really anxious, I'll just give myself positive mantras. So, Sophie, you're doing really well, you're doing really good. And at the moment, it's sort of been like, remember, this is what you've wanted to do. This is what you've chosen to do. You're not being forced to do this. I think of my happy place. And at the moment, I've been just thinking and focusing a lot on my breathing before I go down.
So there's Daft Taylor here in the UK also says, how do you keep your mind and your body calm when you're trying to do something that you or your compatriots have never done before, which I assume is kind of like going deep? And also there's another question here which says, how do you overcome your fears? Because you're challenging yourself a lot here, aren't you?
Yeah. So one of the things that I really like to do and that really works for me is before I dive, I just start smiling or even laughing. Not necessarily about anything. I just force myself to smile and to laugh, and I just feel completely different in my body, and that really puts me into a different mood. Or for example, let's say like yesterday the waves were quite big, and instead of thinking of that as a negative thing, I'm thinking, oh wow, the waves are quite agitated because they're really excited for me. They're really happy for me. They want me to do well. So I try to change scenarios into positive things, which is not always easy to do. It's a skill. It requires a lot of practice, but that's what helps me. And how do I face my fears? Well, in freediving, we take a slow progression approach. So it's not like you just go down to 50 meters, boom, one day. No, so, you practice going down to, first it was, 10 meters, 15 meters, 12 meters, repeat that and so on. So I don't have a fear necessarily of going deep. It's just, I wouldn't have necessarily any fears as such, because I'm well prepared. I've been really, I've trained for this. I hope that answers the question.
So if there's a few questions here, so there's Jelly Bambino and a few other people have asked, it's kind of the feeling, and I kind of get this, it's like, what's in your mind when you're on the way down to the deepest point? And it's kind of, there's Maxine Trambell's asked, in the silent space when you're at your deepest point, what's in your thoughts when you're kind of beyond all fear and all thought? What remains of you? It's like, as you go deeper, does it, you must feel a change in your body and in the sense of where you are. Does it get dark and scary, or is it you're just calm and relaxed and used to it?
I would say because I've repeated so many dives before, I'm quite used to it, so there's not really any huge different changes. So I will sort of just go through with you what I think on my dives, and really that's there's different steps as I descend. So the first thing I do before I go down is I do my breathe up. So this is when I'm just trying to relax. And I'm focusing on my breath here, and I'm thinking of all these positive mantras. You're doing really well, you're here because you want to, and so on. Do a bit of laughing and smiling. Then I take my 1 full breath, and the first 10-15 meters is where I'm positively buoyant. So that's when I have to either pull myself down a bit faster or kick faster. So that's what I'm focusing on. So I focus, okay, I need to get past my positive buoyancy. That's what I'm thinking of. Then my next thought is, right, okay, now I'm past my positive buoyancy and I'm going into my negative buoyancy. I'm going to either do slower kicks if I'm doing bifins, or slower pulls if I'm doing free immersion. Once I'm in that zone and I've gone past 15 meters, then I'm thinking, right, now I have to do my charge, also known as a mouth fill. This is an equalization technique which allows me to go deeper, and it's quite technical. So at around 15 meters, I fill my mouth full of air, and don't do this if you've never been taught this before, okay? So I do my charge, and then what I'm focusing on between, so let's say I'm going to do a 50-meter dive. From 15 meters to 30 meters, I'm focusing on compressing my cheeks, making sure that my tongue is staying low. So I'm staying focused, and at the same time, I'm relaxing my body. So I'm making sure my neck is relaxed, shoulders are relaxed, my diaphragm is relaxed, and staying focused. Then when I reach 30 meters, an alarm goes off. So I have 2 alarms. One goes off at 15 meters for my charge, and then at 30 meters my second alarm goes off, and this is when I begin my free fall. So this is when I do a last pull or a last few kicks, and then I just let gravity pull myself down. And this is when I really focus on relaxing as much as I can, relaxing my belly, and just enjoying it. So at this point I'm telling myself, okay, this time is for you. This time is when you really, really relax, enjoy it as much as possible, but also at the same time focusing on my compression, because I don't want to compress my charge too quickly. So then I go slowly, slowly jaw, and then slowly, slowly tongue, making sure that I'm just controlling everything that's happening in my mouth. Now once I reach the bottom, then hopefully I reach the bottom, which has always been the case. Then I have to grab the tag, and then the hard part begins. One of the hard parts begin, which is now when I have to use my energy and my physical force to come back up. And for Maxime's question, which is quite a deep question, is what remains of me at that depth? I would say innocence, love, and I was trying to figure out a word for this, but just like feeling completely like free and open to anything, like ready to accept anything that comes out at me.
Wow. And Zara Albert says, what does silence sound like at 50 meters? Is there a difference? Is it kind of otherworldly?
It depends. In the blue hole, for example, at 50 meters, you're able to see the arch that people have like tried to swim through before, and that's quite incredible. That's a quite like wow, beautiful feeling, sensation. At the moment here I am in Sharm, there's no arch or anything like that. So yeah, no, everything just feels really still and silent. It feels really amazing.
That's great. There's a great question here, which is during the final 30 seconds of a record level free dive, when your body is screaming for air and every instinct is telling you to ascend, what exactly happens in your mind? Are you fighting, surrendering, or entering some kind of altered state? Can you describe the mental negotiation happening between survival instincts and the will? So, I mean, you've said it's very calm, and it sounds like you're busy. It's not like you're just heading down. You've got points and you've got things going on. But is there that fight with the, I shouldn't be here, or, this is going against everything that I should do?
So that question's funny. It's from Aswant, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Aswant, I think, is like only 14 or 15 years old, so it is a good question. So the last 30 seconds of when I'm coming up, it depends what discipline I'm doing. But if I'm doing a deep dive, I'm not even feeling the urge to breathe, to be honest. I've trained so much that I don't feel, at the moment, I haven't really been feeling a single contraction. So there's no really strong urge of, I really need to come up. So there's not any fight. There's just a fight in terms of the energy, the physical energy of me having to come up, because if I don't do that, then I will just fall. Gravity will just bring me down. I could probably be feeling a little bit tired because I've been physically trying to come up, either using my arms or my legs. So it will be more of a tired feeling, but at no point am I feeling, oh gosh, I really, really shouldn't be here. I really, really need to come up. Maybe, for example, if I'm doing a static breath hold, and that's when I'm really, really pushing myself to see how long I can stay down there for, then yes, it becomes more difficult, because then I'm holding my breath for 5 minutes. However, when I go down to 50 meters, it takes me, yesterday I did 54 in bifins, and it took me 1 minute 50. So it's not really a long time, especially at that depth. So I would say I've only really felt the really, oh gosh, I really need to come up now when I'm doing like dynamic in the pool or static.
But just to make it clear to everyone, you're not on your own. There are safety divers and there are people around as well, isn't there?
Yeah. Always. I'm never, ever on my own. Even if I go snorkeling, I don't even go snorkeling on my own.
Yeah. So it's at least you've got that side. Now they've got another question here from Christian Spong in the USA, who says, I'm curious about your feelings and thoughts during these dives and some of the tricks and tips that work for you, or unexpected things that you've learned recently. She said, I'm asking because every dive for me is different, and I'm still affected by outside conditions and physical sensations during the dive. So are you able just to black everything else out and just focus? Is that just mental preparedness?
So, not always. So, like, honestly, if I'm doing like a personal best dive, like a dive that I haven't been to before, for example, yesterday I had to do 54 meters in bifins, and that was a personal best. So I woke up anxious, like I like I always do usually on PB dives, and that's quite normal, I would say. I wasn't super anxious. There are some days, for example, where I don't sleep at night because I'm so anxious. That's only happened once the last 6 weeks. Last night, the night before last night, I was able to sleep fine. Woke up a little bit anxious, mostly because I'm getting used to a new place. But I think one of the really hard skills to do, but is really important, is, as I was mentioning before, trying to change everything into a positive way. So, like I was mentioning about the waves, they're there to calm you. Thinking of the rope, like the rope is my lifeline, my rope is my support, and it cares for me. Again, thinking like I'm here because I want to, and thinking like what a privilege it is that I'm even able to be swimming in the ocean. Some people are not even able to go into the ocean. Some people haven't had that privilege before. Some people are not even allowed in the ocean. Thinking just like, wow, what an amazing feeling it is to be here, and not putting pressure on myself that I have to do it if I don't want to. It's that thing where it's like, if I want to turn at any point, well, then I just turn. There's nobody forcing me to go down. And having that positive mindset is not something that just comes naturally. It takes a lot of time, and it's something that I've had to learn a lot, especially within the last 6 weeks. That it's just, trying to because we can just sort of think of anything and make it negative, like, there was someone that was shouting, or there are kids that are playing and they're making noise, but instead trying to just smile about it and accept it and make sure, like everything's okay, if that makes sense.
And it's all just in there. There's a Man BTN in France says, I've heard about the different steps of feelings that people are seeking for in freediving. The strong pressure on the whole body and on your lungs, and for sure that forces you to keep in air stronger and stronger. I think he said the big blue, and it's like the depth into which you can fall, the loneliness. He said, how do you manage to control these sensations? Can you tell me the other feelings that you have? Is it always a pleasure, or is it sometimes a pain? And I think that's kind of what you're just explaining. It's like, if it's not working for you, you don't do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like in freediving, feeling pain is a big no-no. You should never feel pain when you freedive. So don't ever keep going if you feel any pain. Instead, try to figure out why you're feeling this pain, and then try to find a solution for it, whether it's because you cannot equalize properly or something or other. In terms of this pressure, some people feel pressure on their chest when they start to go quite deep. I haven't necessarily felt that pressure on my chest before, even if I've been to 57 meters. So I think personally, I can't really speak for everyone when she asks, what are we seeking for? For me, it's seeking silence, and for me, it's when I'm down there, it's when everything just shuts off. It's just me, and it's a huge therapy for me. I hope that.
How does it feel? I mean, when you come up, you must know when you're obviously down there that you're like, that's a personal best, or that was a really good night. Do you get like a real adrenaline rush when you come up?
Yeah, I would say after I've done my recovery breaths and after I've done my protocol, like when I did 57 meters 6 days ago, I was quite shocked, and I had this huge adrenaline rush, and then everything just, I forgot really, not where I was, like I was still obviously sane, but I was like, my goggles and my snorkel and this, and I started just going a bit like, oh my god, like I can't believe I just did this. So after my deep dives, there's definitely, especially that day, it was like an hour and a half whereby I was just like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I just did that.
Just buzzing. And the Fantine says, go Sophie, yay. You said, what are you most apprehensive about when you undertake a challenge, and how do you deal with it?
I mean, to be honest, I just want to be able to have a good experience and do well. And for this particular competition, I've been sponsored by all these lovely, amazing people. And so I want to make sure that I'm able to do well for them. There's a bit of pressure there. I'm apprehensive of, and touch wood, I'm very paranoid, and I have been very paranoid about like getting sick, like getting the flu or getting the cold. So I'm making sure that, you know, like I'm just being very hygienic and not going close to anyone if I can. Just trying to stay as healthy as I possibly can. But other than that, feeling great.
Good. That again leads us nicely into another group of questions, which is about your kind of training and preparation. Now we got GO03GR in Switzerland. I did look for names. I couldn't find some of these names. And Elena and Mel, they say, what does your training look like? Can you describe a typical day of what training consists of? And can you show and describe how your usual training day goes and all the kind of routine stuff that you do all the day?
Okay, so every day is quite different. Things sort of change depending on what I'm doing. So it's quite a complex question. I'll try to answer it as best as I can. But pretty much to get to do a deep dive, there's different things that you have to work on. So for example, relaxation, and there's equalization, and there's technique, there is your breathe up, there's quite a few different things. So I started training 2.5 months ago, whereby I started off with gym training, so trying to become strong and fit. Then I moved into equalization training. Then when I came here, I started moving into technique and relaxation, and that's only then when I was allowed, when my coach was like, okay, now you can start going a little bit deeper. So my training, you know, in Seychelles was just equalization drill. So I have to do different charges from 0 meters to 15 meters, a special charge, 0 meters to 25 meters, whatever it is. There's a lot that goes into it, and then there's some days where I have to do overweighted dives, so I put more weights on, so it means that it's a bit harder for me to come up. Some days I'm doing meditation for 2 hours, and that's my training. So what I can tell you is that my routine is in one day. So let's say tomorrow. So my routine for tomorrow will be that I will, as soon as I wake up, I drink my vitamin C and a glass of water, and then I do some movement and some stretching. So it's not a whole routine. I kind of, you know, when it's really cute. You know when babies wake up from a nap and they and they just kind of do this like stretch, like how they want to. So that's what I do. So I lie down and I stretch how my body wants to and how it feels. I'll stretch my neck. And then I will do 20 to 30 minutes of meditation. So I'll put my headphones in and I have this guided meditation that I'll do, whereby it's pretty much just like relax your neck, relax your arms, and just imagine that a torch is on you and this feels lighter and that feels lighter. And then that's that for my routine in the morning. And again, everyone's routine is quite different, so that this is my personal routine. Then I will head to the dive center, and I won't do any stretching there or anything. Some people do, they like to do more stretching. I'm quite fine, I'm cool. Tomorrow I will then do 3 dives in total. So I'm at my training cycle now where I'm peaking. So this is when I'm going. We've done all this work where I've done the fitness and the relaxation and the meditation and the equalization, and I'm peaking, which means I'm just going deeper and deeper. And when you go deeper and deeper, you don't have many dives. So when I first was in Dahab, I was doing 8 dives a day, working on different things, like working on technique, pulling and head positioning and la. That's all sorted now. Now I will do 2 warm-ups. So my first warm-up will be a 15-meter hang. So I go down to 15 meters and I usually hang there for 2.5 minutes until I feel comfortable. I'm not getting any contractions or strong artery, just to feel peaceful. Then I will do what's called a test dive. So that's when I go down to 30 meters and I imagine like I'm doing a PB. So I put all my mouthfeel equalization in there and I pretend like I'm going very deep just to make sure that everything is working, everything's in place, everything's okay. And then tomorrow I'm supposed to do, well, I will try to do 58 meters, which is a PB. Wow. So I will try to attempt that. And that's my routine for tomorrow.
Amazing. Freediving in London says, how long has it taken you to master your different mouthfeel charges, and what has been the biggest learning curve challenge around EQ for your depth training?
So I would say I haven't mastered anything. I've done a lot of practice.
Sounds like you're
I
doing
would say... Yeah, I am. But 2.5 years ago, I made the amazing decision to become a share equalization instructor. And that has not only helped change the way I teach equalization to my students, but also how I train my equalization for my deep dive. So it's a huge... it was an amazing course whereby I really learned how to do proper mouthfills and just equalization in general, because when you become an instructor, unfortunately with the different organizations that we have, which is AIDA, Molchanov, SSI, PADI and all the other ones, and I've crossed over and read all the manuals for all of them, they don't really, to be honest, they teach you maybe 5-10% maximum of equalization. So you leave an instructor course with so much left out. So I became a share equalization instructor 2.5 years ago, and that really changed my way of equalization, because I then understood what I was doing. Before I had no idea what I was doing, and so yeah, the big learning curve with that is practicing dry almost every day, and really when you practice dry every day, even 5 times a day, just for 5 minutes, you are able to then do the exercise properly in the water. And that's the biggest advice that I can give anyone. If anyone has problems equalizing, do a course with an instructor that knows how to teach equalization. Practice dry. I know that doesn't sound fun, but if you're not able to do it dry, then you're not able to do it in the water. So it only makes sense to do it dry, and then you go into the water. And again, practice with the right exercises with someone that knows the right exercises for you.
Yeah. And so then, if you're saying do it dry, you could be doing that at any point during the day. So kind of during your day, you could just keep practicing and kind of teaching. Is it like sort of muscle memory type thing?
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah, then you're picking it up.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll be coming in for one of those. Because,
yes.
Yeah. Equalization is not good. We've got Farquhar in Switzerland. Says, do you have things you always do the night before a day in the water? Is there something that you do specifically the night before, or something you do in the morning? And do you have personal mental tricks to stay relaxed during your dives, and specific depth goals that you go in progression?
Mm-hmm. So I feel like I've already answered a little bit of that already. Before the night... the night before, I have a good meal and I make sure that I sleep well. I have been told to, if I'm doing any like lung stretching or diaphragm stretching, to do that the night before, which I haven't been at the moment, but I've done a lot of that the last couple of months. So I feel like I'm good with that. So maybe just some light movement, some nice full lung stretches, maybe some empty lung stretches. The morning, I've gone through that already. Mental tricks. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else I haven't mentioned. But I think I've mentioned everything that I can think of.
I like that idea about the kind of the positivity and sort of smiling and laughing. It can make you, it just makes you feel happier anyway, doesn't it? And sort of relaxes you.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, one thing that I'm... So I was just going to say that one thing that I'm definitely not doing is I'm not thinking I need to reach that depth. I'm not thinking of the depth that I'm going to. I'm just thinking of the next step that I have to do. So the going past the buoyancy, the charge, the equalization, and all of that.
Yeah. So once you get comfortable at one level, then you know that you can go a bit further, and then you can go a bit further, and that's your challenge. There's one
Yeah.
question here from Madeline, who in Germany, who says, in terms of your preparation, things like diet, what about your meals? Are there any tricks for more power and less belly? Do you stay away? You know, if you're training for a marathon, you would carb up. Do you eat carbs? Do you eat less? What's the diet sort of routine?
Um, to be honest, I don't have one. I haven't done that on the cycle before. I, really, what I'm trying to make sure of is just not getting my belly ill. That's really what I'm just most worried about. Like a lot of people that come to Egypt, they may be a little bit more sensitive, and so they get like Dahab belly,
Yeah.
where your tummy is just a little bit runny. So I'm really just trying to stick to food that is not foreign to me, just because I don't want anything different. I'm making sure that I'm having, of course, protein, having carbs, having veggies. So I'm making sure I'm having a little bit of everything, that I'm eating 3 times a day. Yeah, that's really what I'm.
So
Yeah.
you don't have, Stefan's asking here, is your pre-dive and post-dive nutritional plan. So is it a case that you would eat less before you dive, or would you then, eat more afterwards, or it just doesn't matter to you?
Yeah, I mean, for depth training, because you need energy, I'm not like starving myself or eating less. I'm eating at least an hour and a half before I get into the water, and I digest things quite quickly anyway. So that's okay. If, for example, I was to do like a long static breath hold, whereby I don't need any energy really in my body, just energy in my brain, I wouldn't eat in the morning, sure.
Yeah. Well, that answers Anastasia, world citizen from Russia's question, because she said, how long shouldn't you eat before diving? So you were saying at least kind of like an hour and a half to give yourself a bit of time.
Yeah, yeah, at least for me, yes.
Well, we got another question here that says, how do you motivate yourself to train regularly with all the efforts that go into free diving, be it going into the pool or going in the ocean? I mean, do you ever have a day when you're just like, I don't want to go near the sea?
Um, yes, I have a lot of those. I would say if I was in Seychelles, I have a lot of those days, mostly because it's work, and this is why I've decided to take myself out of that environment and put myself in another environment where we have a community that are just so passionate and so just hands-on with it all. So that's really what's motivating me. The fact that I signed up for a competition means that like I need to do well. So the fact that I've signed up, also got sponsors, means that I can't be lazy. I have to make them proud. That's really what's motivating me. But if I was just staying in Seychelles, I definitely would not be as motivated as I am now. So I'd say, yeah, taking myself out in a different environment has been a wise choice.
And I'm sure having the support of people around you as well. And like you say, that community, is it a very,
Exactly.
I mean, it's obviously everyone enjoys free diving. You've all got the support of each other. So although you may be in competition, you're still all there for each other and supporting?
Massively, massively. I wouldn't say I've ever encountered anyone that's like had like bad competition vibes. Everyone is just that I've met at least, and I've been to Dahab and been here 4 or 5 times now, and everyone's just really accepting and helpful and just super lovely.
Excellent. Oh, that's so cool. It's very nice,
Yeah,
isn't it? We
it's
got a question
amazing.
here. Do you find wearing a nose clip beneficial, stroke a must? And does it help you going deeper or staying down longer? And also, there's a kind of follow-on this, which also says, why don't you use the classic dive mask for diving deep? So tell us a
Okay.
bit about kind of your equipment and what your kit. What are you wearing? What are you? What are you doing?
Sure. So whether using a nose clip is essential, I would say definitely not. Whether it's helpful, I would say yes, it's helpful, especially for deeper dives. I only started wearing a nose clip 2 months ago. Before that, I was wearing a mask, and I was able to go down wearing a mask to 50 meters. Is it helpful? Yes, it's helpful, just because you don't use any extra air to equalize this extra airspace, which is in the mask. So you have more air to equalize your ears or for your lungs or whatever it is. But also it's really nice because it means that your hands are free. So my hands are doing, like, if they're pulling, I'm not having to. Instead, I'm just pulling and I'm equalizing without using my hands. So that's quite liberating, and it makes my technique faster, and my shoulders are more relaxed when I'm doing bifins. So I would say it's nice to try, sure, but it's definitely not essential. And why I'm not wearing a mask? Well,
Yeah.
Sorry?
What kind of mask? Are you wearing goggles, or are you wearing a mask, or nothing at all?
so I am wearing these new goggles from Evolve Apnea. So they are goggles that equalize by themselves. So actually, there's air inside of my goggles. Some people don't use any goggles. However, I find that really weird for my face. It just freaks me out a little bit too much. Some people wear just normal goggles, and they put water inside. I'm using these Evolve apnea goggles just so I can see, and that my eyes are not being affected with water being on them.
Yeah, and are you wearing a wetsuit? I mean, do you have different? Because obviously going deeper, it's colder, isn't it?
Not always, but here where I am now in Sharm, yes, it's getting colder. So I am wearing a wetsuit. It's a 3 mil wetsuit. Even if it's 28 degrees, I'm still wearing a wetsuit. I've got a weight belt with 3 weights on there. I have long fins if I'm doing bifins. Been sponsored by Chetma Composites. They gave me my lovely mantra fins. Then what else do I have? I have my nose clip, goggles. I have my dive watch, which I put in my hood so I can hear my alarm better. Sometimes when it's on my hand, I'm too relaxed so I don't hear it. And then I have my noodle, which is what I sit on and what I do my relaxation on before I go down. And I think that's all the equipment that I have. Yeah. Oh, and then I have a snorkel, which I do my breathing up with. And then when I sit up, I give my snorkel to my safety, so I'm not carrying it down with me.
Brilliant. Cool. So let's turn now our attention to what you're currently doing and the competition, this upcoming competition and your record attempt. When is the competition? Tell us a bit more about what you're going to be doing. And one of the questions that we have here from Chris Canans and Madalena is, what disciplines will you be competing in? Do you have pre-qualifications and only the best can start, or is everyone who went there able to participate?
So the competition will be next week from the 21st to the 23rd. So 21st, 22nd, 23rd. So there's 3 diving days. I'm going to be competing in free immersion discipline and constant weight bifins. Exactly what I'm going to do, I don't know yet. I still have tomorrow and I still have Friday. So it really depends how those 2 days go. So for example, the last month I've been really enjoying and really focusing on free immersion technique, which has been my great focus on. Bifins I'm not such a fan of. But then the last 2 dives that I've had, my bifins have gone so well. So my coach said to me yesterday, okay, well, do you want to compete more in bifins then? And now my whole mind's just gone like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? So it's quite tricky because I only have 3 dives. Every day I only have 1 dive attempt, and I have to try to choose quite carefully what I need to do. And I think what was the other question? Was that
how many dives? Does everyone? Is there a pre-qualification, or is everyone in there? The
to be honest, I don't. I think anyone can dive. from what I know of. I think like you have to have like a medical certificate, you have to know like what depth you're doing. I think you need to at least have some experience, have done a course before. I'm not exactly sure what that qualification is, but to be honest, nobody has asked me for my qualification, if I'm a freediving instructor, what level I am. What they do ask is like how many meters I've been to and so on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the next question is how long the competition be? We've said it's the 3 days. That was a question from Caroline, so you've answered that one. Turtle Explorer in Seychelles and V. Michael said, do you have a record or a goal that you're aiming for? If so, what is it? And what is your goal overall for the competition?
So my goal overall is, of course, to have a good experience and to have good, clean dives whereby I get white cards. So that means that everything goes smoothly. I do the protocol, I get the tag. If I could get a 6 my ultimate goal in terms of meters, if I'm able to get like a 6.0 or a 6 something, a 60 plus 60 something, then that would be amazing. I think that I'll be able to. I'm sure that I can. You just never know. Yeah.
What did you say? What have you done so far? What's your best so far?
So my personal best in free immersion is 57. And my personal best in bifins is 54. That was yesterday. And tomorrow I'm meant to go 58 in bifins.
So you're pretty close. You're going to do it.
I'm pretty close, yeah.
You're going to do it. You're going to do it. And we will let everyone know what the outcome is. So we will keep everyone posted on how it all goes. We've got a question from Veronica who says, what kind of impact do you think freediving can and will have on Seychelles in the years to come? And how will the sport develop further after your national record? And just to explain that you will, after this competition, will be the deepest diver, free diver for Seychelles. So therefore you will be a national record holder. So what impact do you think that's going to have on Seychelles?
Well, I think Seychelles is such an amazing location for freediving, and the fact that like I'm really the only active freediving school in Seychelles quite blows my mind. There should be more. Hopefully there will be more in the future, but it will make people more educated about the sport. It's actually something that we don't necessarily just do for recreation, just for fun, to connect with marine life or to go hunting, for example, and catch octopus, but it's a sport whereby it teaches you so many skills, whether that's mindfulness skills, relaxation skills, letting go of fears and dealing with anxiety, for example. But it's also, for example, I'm living off teaching freediving as well, so there's lots of job opportunities out there for people too. It's such an incredible way of connecting with marine life, and I hope to also I hope that freediving also educates a lot of people on safety on freediving. Like we do have a lot of freedivers in Seychelles that are going off by themselves and hunting or doing recreational stuff by themselves, doing techniques that are not safe, which I think can be a bit dangerous. And I hope that with doing this national record attempt, not only will it make people more aware of the sport, but also hopefully it's something whereby we can bring to Seychelles as well, like holding international competitions or national competitions and making them official competitions. Because so I've got so many clients that come to Freediving Seychelles, that come to Seychelles just for freediving. And it's quite huge, like you said at the beginning of this interview that it's becoming so popular. So
more a freediving competition in Seychelles. I think that's a great idea. Definitely a good one. Well, we are definitely, and I know that everyone is going to find you in terms of this competition and the record attempt. And as we said, we will let everyone know how you get on. But just before you go, a few more questions. We've got some random questions here, which I like some of these. These are good. So we've got one question here, which is, what is the best encounter you've had during a free dive?
I would say a manta ray. I saw my first ever manta ray on Silhouette Island, which just sort of snuck up onto me, which was amazing. And also seeing the arch in the blue hole has been incredible to see.
Oh, wow. And I suppose it's that there's nothing, you're just down there sort of as same as you're a fish, you're another fish, you're another. There's no distractions, there's no noise, you're just kind of part of nature, aren't you, when you're down there?
Yeah, I feel like marine life is so much more accepting to freedivers than they are to scuba divers, for example, because we don't have all the loud, noisy equipment.
Mm. Now here's one. Where is your dream location to dive, either in Seychelles or internationally? Where's your favourite in Seychelles?
I'd love to go to... Okay, so my favorite in Seychelles would be Saint Joseph Atoll, which is next to Daros Island and the outer islands and the Amiens outer islands. It's absolutely incredible, very it's just so colorful in terms of marine life and coral. The place that I'd really love to visit is in Seychelles, is Astove Island. I've heard that there is quite incredible. And internationally, I'd love to go to Mexico and freedive in the cenotes, which are like these underwater crazy cool caves with like light beaming down from the sun. It looks magical.
Put that one on the map for next year. That's one to do next time. We got another question here which says, do you like free diving in warm locations? And how do you think your performance would differ in cooler water and a cooler setting?
Yeah, I'm quite spoiled. Growing up in Seychelles, definitely I much prefer warmer waters. I actually did my level 3 in a quarry in the UK in Kent, which was absolutely horrible. I don't think I'll deal with it very well. So that's why I choose warm locations to dive in.
How cold was it?
2 degrees. Yeah, horrible.
Yeah. No, I think definitely the kind of the tropical blue waters is definitely a better idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Got another question from Laura here. Laura says, describe yourself in 5 words. No pressure.
Kind, nice, motivated, inspired, and funny.
Nice. I like that. Very good. And I have another one here from the Crotchet Ninja in the UK. He says, what are your plans after the record attempt? And second question, as a woman in business, what challenges have you faced when running your own freediving business?
I haven't really thought too much. I'm just trying to get this out of the way first. But I suppose that hopefully we create more awareness on freediving in Seychelles, and I'm able to hopefully teach people, not just people that want to freedive, but people that want to learn like mindfulness techniques. So maybe I'm hopefully able to access this clientele more. Would love to, we already spoke a little bit about it, but offer more competitions in Seychelles. Hopefully also bring international freedivers to Seychelles to help educate our community about the sport. I would love to also offer courses whereby I can teach people to become a freediving instructor, but I don't have that certification yet. I can only teach people to a certain point. I do still have to do a little bit more teaching, and I have to pass a couple more things. And in terms of challenges I face being a woman in terms of the business sector, I mean, I think it's more not because I'm a woman, but I feel like it's more of my age, because I started my business at the age of 21, and I'm now 25.
Yeah.
Not many people take a young person seriously, so That's usually what I think is the problem. When I try to have meetings with people or organize things, not many people take me seriously. But I mean, I still have had a huge support with a lot of people, so I wouldn't say there's been so many challenges, but that would be the main one. It's mostly the age
And they're
issue.
always there to be overcome. And as you keep going, and hey, you're going to be like national record holder. So it's like, yeah, they've got to take you
Yeah,
seriously then. You got a
hopefully.
great question. I love this question. Charlotte in Australia says, if you dive at a soundtrack, what song would be playing as you hit the bottom plate? And do you ever have deep dive conversations with yourself mid dive, or is it total silence in your mind?
Okay, so the
Random
soundtrack
but
that I would
great.
choose, yeah, they are, um, uh, would be We Are the Champions by Queen. So as I'm taking my tag and I'm coming up, that's when it starts to go, We are the
No.
champion, my
Excellent.
friends. So that would be my song choice.
Yeah, I can hear that as you
Um,
just kind of make your way up.
yeah, I think that's a quite good one.
Yeah. The other one
What
was, do you have
conversations?
deep sea conversations with yourself?
Uh, no, I don't really. It's more that I'm focusing on the next part of my dive. Sorry, Charlotte.
If you're an animal, sorry, if an animal could give you a pep talk before the dive, what species would it be and what would you want them to say?
So I think it would be an octopus, because octopus, I can imagine octopus to hold on to a buoy, and they're quite intelligent, and it would say, um, "Come on, Sophie, you've got this. Show us what you got."
Nice. I like it. And the final question from Charlotte is, how does it feel to be this badass?
I don't feel like a badass, to be honest.
Okay, I've got a couple more questions and then we're done. I told you there was a lot of people asking a lot of questions they wanted to know.
Yeah.
And I got one question here, and Sunita says, my son loves diving and he did his first training with you. How can we help him go further in free diving in terms of taking it on as a sport and competing at his age? He's 9.
So I would say that at the age of 9, I wouldn't want to try to get a 9-year-old to start thinking of competing at that age just because I feel like they are too young. I would say try to just encourage them doing things that they like in the water. So coming back to do sessions, coming back to do further courses, but doing things structured and doing it with a professional. Yeah, I would say competitions for much later, but now just focusing on slow
You
adaptation
do,
to.
yeah, you do training sessions you take children out, don't you?
Yeah, we do, and it's mostly for like water confidence. Like we teach them how to equalize, how to be comfortable in the water, um, um, but we don't at all like mention the word like breath holding or competitions or anything like that because, well,
Mm.
kids could then potentially go off by themselves with their friends and start trying to see who can hold the breath the longest and really push themselves, and we don't want that happening.
Yeah. And I got one final question here. So basically, I'm going to roll up a couple of questions here, which I think you've done a bit of this, but it's describe the feeling of free diving for someone who's never done it before, and why everyone should have a go at free diving, with the right training, of course, and with the right instructors with them. But basically, sum up kind of what free diving is, why people should experience it, and yeah, just everything that you love and is great about freediving.
So freediving is total freedom, in my opinion. Is extremely peaceful if you learn how to do it correctly, and you know how all the breath work and the mindfulness and the equalization, total silence that down there, and feeling just completely present, I think is quite beautiful.
Excellent. And that's it. We're done with our questions.
Okay.
Thank you very much for giving us such a wonderful insight into freediving and your competition. And we really, really wish you the best of luck with everything that's coming up over the next couple of days. Now, you said you were going to pick one of your questions as your prize winner, to come diving with you. What was your favourite question?
I think Jeremy Sadler asked a good question, which was, like, what do I hope for freediving Seychelles in the future, or something like that.
Yes.
And I think that's my favourite one.
Excellent. All right. Well done, Jeremy. And we will be in touch and sort out your prize, and he'll be diving with you very, very soon. So, Sophie, tell us. We'll put details on the bottom of this, on the bottom of the video. But if people have watched this, got inspired to go free diving, how do they get in touch with you?
So they can either contact us through our website, which is www.freedivingseychelles.com, or through our Instagram, Freediving Seychelles, or through our WhatsApp, which is +248 2588 421, and just send us a message, and we'll reply to you with all the info.
Amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your training to talk to us.
Thank you as well,
And
Fiona.
good luck to you, and we'll
Thank you.
we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.